Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, heavy rains over Florida could form into a tropical storm. The UF weather team is tracking the bands of showers and storms.
Plus, officers find the suspect they say is responsible for a deadly crash. The two factors they believe contributed to the accident and why they say he should have never been behind the wheel. And the woman charged with killing an Ocala mother wants key pieces of evidence kept out of court. The calls she doesn't want the jury to hear. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The state is continuing to be drenched with rounds of heavy rain, and it's forecasted to continue through the next few days, bringing with it flood watches and warnings, especially in South Florida. Following the rain is a tropical disturbance in the Gulf that the National Weather Service is watching. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Jack Meyer.
And I'm Sarah Howard. Several parts of the state have already seen more than 4 inches of rain since Tuesday. Let's get right over to UF weather forecaster Desiree Waters. While North Central Florida isn't under any watches, we're still getting a share of the rainfall.
An Ocala teen is behind bars charged with DUI manslaughter for a deadly crash that happened earlier this year. Investigators say back in February, 17-year-old Frank Scudder IV was driving the car that hit and killed a husband and wife on Southeast 36th Avenue. Detectives found that Scudder was going 120 miles per hour, and there was no evidence of braking. A blood test revealed he was well over the legal limit at .188. Scudder went to the hospital for his injuries, but the couple he allegedly hit was pronounced dead on the scene. A motorcycle crash in Ocala has left 2 people in critical condition. Authorities say the accident occurred at the 7-Eleven on North Pine Avenue. An officer attempted to stop the motorcycle, but instead the driver kept going before running through a stoplight. We're told the motorcycle crashed into a southbound Marion County government vehicle. The motorcycle driver and passenger sustained critical injuries and were taken to the hospital for treatment. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a $116 billion budget for the next fiscal year, which will start July 1st. The governor vetoed more than $1 billion worth of various projects before signing it. The budget includes things such as increased funding for public schools and pay raises for state employees. A related tax package includes a series of sales tax holidays. Speaking at a bill signing ceremony, DeSantis said his veto action put spending below the total for the current fiscal year, while still funding programs in education, conservation, transportation, and infrastructure.
We've shown how it's done. I want to thank the legislature for all their hard work. I'm proud of what this will do for the state as we continue our momentum going forward. This is the place to be.
The state budget was unanimously approved by the Florida Senate and only had 3 no votes in the House when it was passed in March. Flooding in South Florida is causing some issues in the area. We bring you the latest from South Florida
And tell you what we can expect out of the weather in our area. Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, stay with us.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Today marks the 8-year anniversary of the Pulse nightclub mass shooting, where a gunman opened fire and killed 49 people. Prior to the shooting, Pulse was a popular LGBTQ+ club in the Orlando area. It is the deadliest attack on their community in U.S. history, as well as the worst mass shooting to ever take place in the state of Florida. The city of Orlando holds an event every year to honor the victims, their families, survivors, and first responders. The event starts with ringing 49 bells as a tribute to each life lost in the tragedy. The city is also holding a Remembrance Day blood drive. Sarasota set a new record Tuesday night for the most precipitation in a 1-hour span. The National Weather Service says between 7 and 8 p.m., the city saw 3.93 inches of rain. Throughout the whole day, Sarasota saw almost a month's worth of rainfall, and more heavy rain cycles are possible for the region later this week. The Weather Prediction Center issued South Florida a 2 of 4 flood threat for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This weather system still has a 20% chance of becoming the first tropical depression of this year's hurricane season. The flash flood and severe thunderstorm warnings are causing issues for travelers. More than 290 flights have been impacted at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Travelers at Miami International Airport, where there were more than 400 impacted flights, experienced similar flight disruptions due to the weather. 2 flights from Gainesville coming from Miami and Fort Lauderdale are among those delayed today. The total rainfall is expected to be in the double digits in some areas by the end of the week.